Well, hello there, viewers. Read something yesterday I'd like to share regarding a bloke called Ron DeSantis. Don't know if many of you know him. I'm sure you've heard of him. He's a politician from the US of A. I think he's a chap. Is he Republican or Democrat? I don't know. I barely know the difference. I don't follow politics, as I've said many times before. I think he's a Republican. When I get further down the line, I'll know that for sure because I've took some notes. I am going to put the bins on a minute and read those notes because I don't want to get them wrong. But he's done something in America, in Florida, I think to be exact, over the last 2 or 3 days, that I would applaud 100%. If I was to meet him in the street, which I'm unlikely to, he's in Florida or wherever else, I'm in the UK, I would shake his hand. For shaking his hand, there'd be plenty of people out there that would probably want to punch me. I wouldn't want to get punched, but I probably would wear it as a badge of courage, because at the end of the day, the people that would want to punch me, I've got no time for whatsoever. What has Ron done, you might ask? Okay, let me put the bins on for this. Right, you know I've done a few videos, postings, blogs, whatever the hell they call them, regarding gender and so on before. I'm one of these people that worry about our kids. I really, really do. I'd like them to grow up as kids and then find out all the, I don't know, all the pitfalls of the world and all the issues of the world out when they're more able to accept them and understand them, rather than have things rammed down the throat at a very, very, very young age, which unfortunately is what we're trying to do in this country now, and I think we've done in America for a good few years. Again, most things seem to originate from the US of A and always find their way over the pond here, and there's plenty of do-gooders in the world that aren't real do-gooders, that jump on these bandwagons and try to get these stupid ideas and laws and restrictions and all different things through. But anyway, what's Ron done? This is what he's done. He's in Florida the other day. What he's done is he's put a ban on gender-affirming care for minors. Didn't mean a lot to me. I've read all these things 3 times. There's bits in them that I still don't understand. It's just too clever for me. But I'm not with all this newfangled talk and all these new things that the gender police are putting up there for us all to follow. Probably because I'm not going to follow them. He's targeted drag shows. I don't know if that means in our schools, if they have drag shows there. I don't know if it means older people. I don't know what he means, but he's targeted drag shows. It's restricted discussion on personal pronouns. I know none of what that means. I did nouns, pronouns, adjectives and all those things when I was at school, but I don't remember what one is from the other. And as for personal pronouns, it meant nothing. So I actually looked at that early on this morning and what it meant. And I think it's when we get, rather than calling somebody a him or a her, or a Mr. or a Mrs., I think that's when we get to all this stupid them and they and this and that and all that palaver that people like, is it Sam Smith and Eddie Izzard want us to carry out? People like that, which I'm saying people like that. I'm not trying to be dismissive, but as I've said before, let me just, in case you've not watched one of my videos before, let me just state this. This is how I see things. If you're born with the old Desmond Decker, you're a lad, you're a boy, you're a mister. If you've got nothing there between your legs, you're a girl, a lady, a woman. That's how we're born, that's what we are. When we get of an age where we know more about ourselves and we're at a position where we can make up our mind on things, then maybe those things may change. Maybe there is a percentage of people, as they say, born in the wrong body. But unfortunately what's happening, as I've said, I think yesterday, day before's post, I think I read in London the other day, 1 in 10 people in schools now think they've been born into the wrong body. Absolute tosh. Absolute and utter tosh. What they're doing is, they're reading things in the press, they're seeing things on the TV, they're hearing things on the radio, they're looking at loads of stuff on the internet, which is a minefield. And they're being taught these various things much too young in school. And they're having people warp the mind and shape the minds. And that's the bottom line there. As I said only the other day, of all the people I've ever met in my lifetime, and I've hit 60 now, I don't know one person that's changed sex. Maybe there is somebody, but it's not even 0.1%. It'd be 0.001% maybe, and I don't even know who they are. So you're not telling me 1 in 10 people, 10% of the population in London now, of the young children, boys think they're girls and girls think they're boys. I'm just not having it. But anyway, I've digressed. I always digress. So he's restricted discussion on personal pronouns. I don't know what that means. He's stopping people from being forced into using certain bathrooms. The Democrats, I believe, are opposed to his bills, and the LBTQ, so it's not the LBGT, so this is a different branch of things, LBTQ+, I don't know what the plus, but the plus things as well, they've been holding rallies. So the Democrats and the LBTQ plus are holding rallies. I'm sorry about this. He stood in front of a big sign, old Ron, when he's declared all this, and the sign says, "Let kids be kids." Now, out of the whole thing, I think that's the most powerful sentence of all, and it's the greatest thing in the whole piece, because I subscribe with that 100%. Can we not let our kids be kids, as I said at the start of this, and then maybe grow up into what they do want to be, again, of their own volition? Let them decide themselves. Don't let them read it, hear it, be told it. Let them decide themselves what they want to be. Please, it's not a lot to ask at all. He's stopping transgender treatment for children and teenagers. So teenagers, what's it, 11, 12, 13, 13's a teenager. So some transgenders are having treatment below 13. What's that, 8, 9, 10, 11? What kiddie of 8, 9, 10, 11 thinks that they're born into the wrong body? None. The only ones that'll be thinking that, again, another piece I did. Have you heard this bit about the mums and dads, again, started in America? It's now come over here, about it 4 years ago, where they're having a kiddie, it doesn't matter what the kiddie is, be it a boy or a girl. I mean, there's no such thing as a boy or a girl anymore in some people's eyes. But they're having a child. And on a Monday, it's dressing as Janet. Tuesday, dressing as John. Wednesday, Janet. Thursday, John. Friday, Janet. Saturday, John. Sunday, wait a minute, it's an odd day. We'll call it David Bowie. What was he? Is it androgynous? Is that the word? Characteristics of both. I'm not going to go at David Bowie. I've got nothing against him and I liked him. Liked him, I do apologise. But it's madness. And as I say, they're dressing them as in pinks and in blues. They're the different days. They're playing with Action Man one day and Barbie the next day. Is it any wonder kids are growing up not knowing whether they're coming or going, and that is it, coming or going? They've not got a clue. As I say, the old Desmond Decker, the old Pecker down there, you're a boy. No Desmond, you're a girl. If in the mid to late teens they decide they want to change and they want to look at things differently, great, let them. But not 8, 9, 10, 11, and I digress it again, I just keep doing it. Anyway, I believe his measures here, they're under attack in many states, although the many that agree with him. But he's putting bans on things and he's restricting things, and for me, I think he's doing nothing wrong there. But things have been available in the US for like upwards of 10 years now, you know, so kiddies can get these gender treatments as kids, not even as teenagers, as kids. What they're trying to do now, I believe, is give them hormone treatment around about 16 years of age, and actual surgeries from 18 upwards. That sounds to be more sensible. But there's been kids getting in a lot younger than that. And I think you'll find parents are pushing them to, because I think there's some parents out there wear it as a badge of honour. Oh, Mabel isn't really Mabel. We brought up as Abel, but she's more of an Abel now. Oh, we brought John up as John, but we realised it was really a Janet. Was always playing with girls' toys, didn't like sport. And they're loving it. Some of these parents are loving it, that they're so accepting and so right on that they can see that the child is wrong, and they're helping it to change and pushing it to change and wanting it to change, and just to be great in the eyes of the gender police. Yet, what he's doing as well, he's stopping third graders declaring pronouns. This is that bit I mentioned before, where it's not him or her, it's them, they, that, whatever the hell it is. I didn't know what third graders were, so I went on the internet. What's a third grader in the USA? 8 to 9 year olds. What 8 to 9 year old is being restricted from saying boy or girl and being told to use things like them or they or this or that? I mean, it beggars belief, it does. He's stopping bathroom restrictions, and he's making a law banning schools from forcing children to provide his or her preferred personal title. So I think boys are going to go in boys' toilets from now on, and girls are going to go in girls' toilets from now on. And they're not going to have teachers saying to boys and girls, right, what do you want to be classed as? What do you want to be classed as? What do you want to be referred to? What do you want to be referred to? Oh. Anyway, those things take effect from July the 1st. They haven't happened yet. And that's basically it. I mean, I'm just at a loss with it all. But for all I'm at a loss with the whole scenario, I'm over the moon that old Ron DeSantis is making some kind of stand there. And although we'll get some brickbats, some people, they'll be 40-50% against him. it doesn't matter because he's doing the right thing, as he's saying. Let kids be kids. Give them the chance to be kids, and then as they grow up, then fine. The wife was telling me a story today, which is weird, and I only half remember this, so it might be something you've read or heard yourselves. I don't know if it's something that this friend of ours has seen in the press, or heard on the radio or the TV, or whether it happened to somebody that she knew. But they were telling me a story of some kids going to school of 8, 9 years of age, and they've invited somebody into the school, I think in drag, some bloke in drag dressed as a woman, and they might have even done a bit of a drag show for the kiddies, and they're telling kiddies how men can dress as women and women can dress as men, and the kids don't know what, as I said, whether they're coming or going, they don't know whether they're Martha or Arthur. They've not got a clue. Anyway, this kid's gone home and told her mum, and her mum's going absolutely berserk, saying, why on earth are you doing that in my kiddie's school? Firstly, without telling me, because I knew nothing about it, and secondly, without going through it with the parents and giving everyone an opportunity to say, yeah, we're fine with that, or no, we're not happy with that. Why on earth it's happened? So she's complained and got no joy. So I believe then she's gone in and had a meeting with the headmaster and others, and she's gone in, I believe, in an overcoat with stockings and basque on and all that on, took off the overcoat in all the gear there, and sat in a meeting with the headmaster and people on the, it's not called the council, you know, the governors, all the governors, and I believe a lot of them were feeling a bit uncomfortable in her presence, being as how she's got the stockings and the suspenders and all the old gear on. And her argument is, well, if you feel uncomfortable seeing me like this, imagine how my kiddie of 7, 8 or 9 feels, seeing a bloke dressed as a woman and doing an act at the front of the class. He's no different. So I can't do this and we're all adults, but you can push that to my kiddie, who is a kiddie. And that's just about says it all. I mean, that's how narrow-minded all these people are, and I just don't get it. It's a shame that not many will see this, and it's a shame that I'm not all set up and it's all been read off like autocued, and it's a shame that it's all a bit all over the place, because that's me, as I keep saying, I'm not professional, but I hope some understand that the feeling is there, and I just hope people of a certain age realise what's happening in our country at the moment, and I hope that we work towards sorting this out. And as I say, just my kids are older now, so I've no problem with them, but I've got grandkids now, and I'll tell you now, if my grandkids and I find out they started doing this with 7, 8, 9 year olds at the schools, as long as my kids feel the same as me, and I hope they do, I'll be in the schools there with them complaining, because I just do not think kids of an age should have things rammed down the throat. I honestly don't, and it's happening more and more, and it worries me about the world we're living in at the moment. It really does. And it's these activists that are pushing this agenda, and it's these activists that are jumping on people like me when we put our head above the parapet and say things. But without people saying things are just going to carry on as they are, and as they are isn't good, ladies and gentlemen. It isn't good at all. Anyway, that's rant over.